Well, good morning. Yet another ripper. Tell you what, I had a ripper night last night too. 2 possums, 2 shots. Mother and junior. So a nice big doe and a nice junior. And they both should be pretty good eating. I'm pretty happy about that because I was getting pretty hungry. Yeah, it was a nice calm night last night. Quite a lot of moonlight, which makes it quite hard when chasing possums because they actually see you and they scarper. But I managed to get Junior here just behind camp. Heard a rustle. He was on the ground behind the tent there. Got him first arrow. Second one, I knew his mother would be around somewhere, so around the back of the camp I had a look around. It was up in the tree, but I had the trunk of the tree directly behind it, so I shot into the possum with a good background and nailed that as well. So pretty happy. So while our fire dies down, we get some nice hot coals in there and the billy boils, we'll get them skinned up and butchered, and we should get 3 or 4 days, well not 3 or 4 days, 3 or 4 feeds out of these. Probably not a lot on the little one. Maybe 2 feeds. I think it'll probably be 1 big feed maybe. We'll see how it goes. The big possum should get 3 feeds at least off that. Just a note on hunting possums after dark, some of you will realise or will know that on public land in New Zealand it's actually illegal to discharge a firearm, and that would apply to a bow as well after the hours of darkness. And I think the reasons for that are twofold. One is that it could possibly be harder to identify your target clearly, and 2, you can never really be sure of your background. So particularly with a rifle, because if you're shooting at a possum or even a deer and doesn't matter whether you've hit or missed the animal, the bullet or the arrow or whatever could still fly off into the distance and hit somebody or a campsite or a building or something else. So those are the main reasons really, I think. Particularly with rifles, you've got to be pretty careful, especially shooting at something up in a tree. You know, if your bullet can go a long way and you don't know what's around the corner. Okay, I'm a pretty good idea around here that I'm alone because I've been here nearly 2 weeks, 10 days. But who's to say someone hasn't walked over the hill last night and camped over that bay? I've fired a shot and my arrow or my bullet has gone and landed right on top of their tent. You don't know. You've got to be really careful. A little bit different maybe on private land where you know your surroundings, you know where the buildings are, you know where other people are as a general rule. You still got to be careful. I mean, that's just two of the basic rules of the firearms code is identify your target clearly and be very, very careful of your background. So I thought I'd bring that up. Possums, as you may or may not know, are our national pest. They carry a lot of disease through our cattle herds. They devastate our native forests. We spend hundreds of millions of dollars every year in this country trying to control them. I think the average New Zealander has a moral obligation to kill every possum they can, if they can do so in a safe and humane manner. I mean, if that means running one over on the road in your car, then great. If one comes into your camp at night after dark, I think you've got a moral obligation to go out there and try and at least snot it on the head with a big stick. These things are terrible, you know. I know it might seem cruel, but the only way we can get on top of these things is by everyone doing a little part to try and nail them. So I've got no worries at all about using a longbow, particularly shooting into the ground, 100% safe. So I just thought I'd add that in case anyone is wondering what I'm up to. As I say, on private land, you can do pretty much like you want. You just still got to obey the firearms code. So yeah, everyone we can get rid of is great as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, Billy's boiling, fire's stoking, we'll get into it, get breakfast on the go. Okay, Here's what I want to do. I want to try and make a small dry fly. Now the reason is, in the evening there's been quite a bit of surface activity. So whatever they're taking, I can't see anything definite, but it looks like it's a variety of stuff. Could be dragonflies, could be flies. Can't see any midge hatch or anything, but could be anything like that. And on 2 occasions I've had fish come up and try and eat the flax float that I'm using on my line, which is unbelievable. They just completely ignored the bait and came up and tried to eat that. So I thought, well, heck, I need to get some kind of a dry fly out there. Is it something different? This is not working very well, is it? Anyway, this is a bit of paracord, inner paracord I've stripped down. It's very, very fine, and I don't know if it's going to work. It looks like this is going to come out of my makeshift vise. So first thing I want to do is put a little tail on the fly. Something like that. So I'm going to have to cut it with my makeshift knife. It might be a bit too big, but I could always cut some out, I guess. Try and bind this on. Now I want some kind of a body. I'm thinking of blackish body. I'm a bit reluctant to use possum fur. That's possum fur, because I think it might just soak up water and sink. We could try a little wee bit. I might go and get a wee bit of possum fur and just try and dub that onto the body. Okay, I've got a little bit of brown fur here. I don't know. Just try and wind this around here. I'll trim it up a bit later. I don't want too much on there, because I want to put a fairly decent hackle on it. So now might try and tie this hackle in. It's quite stiff, so I don't know if this will. This might just make the whole fly bend round. I'll cut that off afterwards. Yeah, it's quite stiff. New plan of attack. Jeez, these flies are mad. Drive me insane. What if we just made a sort of a wing? That might work, eh? Shite. I reckon that might work. Somehow we've got to tie a half hitch in that. With my delicate fingers. Not. Oh, get out, flies are going in my mouth and everywhere. I don't think it's going to win any awards, as long as it wins a fish. God, get out, flies. Well, what's that looking look like from underneath? Looks like a sort of a moth or something. Sure. Too hot for fishing at the moment. I'm going to wait until this evening. It's just unpleasant in the sun. It's burny. Nasty. Definitely more activity in the evening. Right, let's get our scissors out. Oh, get out of the guys. It's not bad. I'll just give that another half inch. Only has to stay intact for one fish, I'll be happy. Right, I reckon that's worth a crack. I'm going to go and chuck it in the water and see what it looks like. Now if you're a fish, surely you'd eat that. It must look like a moth or something. Fantastic. That I reckon is going to be a fish killer. But I'm going to make up a couple more, maybe with a slightly different wing design, maybe a couple of feathers sort of going out to the sides, a bit like a dragonfly wing. And that might actually sit on the water really well too. Anything's worth a go, eh? Just got to be thinking outside the square a little bit, I think. There we have it, the possum-bodied, swan-winged fly. Guaranteed to catch the biggest brown trout ever. Yeah, we'll see. So I'm just upgrading my fly rod. The other one I wasn't really happy with, wasn't that straight and it didn't have good enough action, but this here I think will be primo. So I'm just building some line guides here with a bit of snare wire. Twisting these up a bit to get it a bit stronger. Then I'll bind them on with some paracord in it. Then I'll have to try and fix the reel to it, or the nylon reel anyway. If you do with a proper reel, certainly make things different, easier. You know, the flies are probably going to blow me if I carry on out here. It's just terrible. Right, make a bit of a ring up. Let's see. Perfect, eh? Woo. Look at that. I bought one. Right, we'll just figure out how to put that reel on now. Well, there we have it. Brand spanking new fly rod straight out of the sports shop. Eh? You pay big money for that. Good action. I think it'll be awesome. Right, try it out tonight. Probably about 7 o'clock, maybe when the lake comes right off to a mill pond. We'll take the Powaka Princess 2 across the bay and over to that deep ledge and see if we can't get a dry fly out there and persuade one of these cunning brown trout that it's something delicious to eat. Yeah, we'll just keep trying. We'll keep trying. Well, I'm pleased to announce the fly rod's working a treat. The fly's working a treat in the respect that it's actually sitting on top of the water, not under the water, so it's great. It's working as a dry fly. Just got to wait for the fish to start feeding now. I haven't actually seen any activity. Hopefully they crank up and come along this way. Still a little bit of breeze in the air tonight, but it should settle down. Last night, on 2 occasions now, I've had fish come up and try and eat the flat stick float I've had, which was really weird. So I don't know what they thought it was, but I can't think it resembled anything that I know of except the flat stick. So if they're going to eat a flat stick, surely they'll eat my nice dry fly creation. Perhaps I should just chuck a flat stick out with a hook on it. There's a deep ledge right here, so I'm leaving it quite close to the edge, hoping fish will be cruising around this edge, and they'll soon see it, I think, in the fairly clear water sitting on the surface. That's the plan. Give it a while. I haven't seen many splashing yet, but hopefully start up soon. Well, that was a pretty good little morning hunt. It was actually quite exciting. Got away at daybreak, about 5:30, and around towards where I went fishing last night. I thought I'd just take a look into the next little bay, and sure enough there's 2 red deer on the beach. A red hind and a yelling hind. They're about probably 100 metres away, but way too far for the bow, but easy shot for a rifle. So I thought I'd creep round through the trees and see if I can't catch them out on the beach still. I could hear them walking around the water. And so I got right round there, probably about 60 yards maybe. Still had to close the gap a bit more. And I peered out through the manuka a little bit. I could just see the hind. And she must have seen the tiniest movement or heard a little noise. She put her head up and her ears went up and she thought, ooh, something's not right. The boogeyman's coming to get me. So they didn't run away or anything. They couldn't smell me. The wind was good. They just walked up into the trees and ghosted away. So I followed them around for a bit. I couldn't get any nearer. But I got onto some lovely spots over there. So it's definitely worth another crack. I walked around a little bit for a while, but I thought, I don't think I'll scent it up too much. I'll go back over either evening or early morning again, and it looks like there's probably more than 2 animals over there, and see if we can't strike it lucky. You just never know, eh? I mean, it's hard work with a bow in the bush in New Zealand. Man, it's thick. Your shooting avenues are hard work, you know, and the animals are onto you all the time. So, you know, you've got to have a real lucky break to get anywhere near them, but you can only try, you know. Funny things happen when you're out in the bush. Breakfast. Well, it's a little bit more like brunch really. It's now 9 o'clock. I've just come back for a hunt. It's a bit of a dreary old rainy day, but thought I'd have a snack. One leg of possum and some stinging nettle, that's breakfast. Oh boy. I'd look forward to a feed of porridge or some fruit or some yogurt and cereal or milk or something like that. But anyway, it is what it is, eh? So, you know, this stinging nettle is as good as a vitamin pill, I reckon. Once you cook it, the sting goes out of it, so. Not much to really jump up and down about. Oh, but that possum, you thought KFC was good, you should try this, bro. Awesome.